Hello and welcome to this episode of the Best Today podcast. I am your host, Shantae Grant, and today I'm really excited about this short but mighty message that I have for you. It is one that I know you're going to want to save. Remember, any podcast episode that you love and you know you're going to refer back to or maybe share with a friend, wherever you're listening, you can tap a button to save this podcast. You can download it to your phone or device that you're listening on, and it makes it easier to come back to reference it. I love doing that with my own podcast and with other podcasts that I listen to be able to quickly access them. If I'm like, oh, that was this episode I really loved, or I have a few minutes and I want to listen to something that I already enjoy. So I believe this episode might be that for you. Today, I want to talk to you about, let's see, how many letters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A 5-letter word that I think needs some new PR because it's gotten a bad rap, but it's really a key word in living a life of consistency and intentionality. Do you want to guess what the word is? I'll give you 3 seconds to take a guess. Say it out loud. What word do you think it is? The word is small. Small is powerful. Small is so powerful, but what has happened in the culture in which we live in, if it's not grand, if it's not big, if it's not your jaw dropped when you saw it, if it's not watch me climb to the top of Mount Everest, it's not noteworthy. It's not laudable. It's not anything. It's just, eh. And that's how you feel not only about looking at something that someone else is doing, but I'm talking about more so looking at your own life. You aren't impressed by the fact that you could be consistent with something for 5 minutes for 5 days. I am. Because to you, all I had was 5 minutes, or I just had 5 minutes, or I just did 5 minutes. But today I want to talk to you about the power of small and invite you to please let it be small. Let it be small, and it can be anything, you know. For many years now, when I go back and I reflect on my life and I look at the things that seemingly appear to be big, you know, it only happened as a result of consistent small steps that built upon each other, right? Everything. If I think about like what are the quote unquote big things in my life, graduations, huge achievements, winning awards, winning competitions, giving birth to 2 humans, starting companies, and then reaching milestones in the companies. All of those things happened because of the power of small. And usually people don't take notice until it gets to the quote unquote big. And maybe that's how you've taken on your life. And so my invitation for you today is to really make the word small become one of your favorite words, one of your favorite practices. Even if you just remind yourself daily, just say those, 4 words, let it be small. That doesn't mean that you're not going to do grand things, big things, if that is your desire. But what I can tell you is that I don't think that there's any way you'll do anything quote unquote big or grand and do it in a way that's sustainable and healthy without small, right? I know this episode is airing in the month of January. We know how, cyclical the human psyche is, and January is a time of starting and recommitting and new this and new that. But I want to tell you, wherever you are, whenever you're listening to this, a new year, sure, great. It's a time where I think people put on their forgetful glasses, forgetting their past behavior and habits and pretending as though they will become this whole new person overnight because the calendar has a new number on it. I want you to avoid that, because if you continuously make massively big goals without any plan for how to break it down into your day-to-day so that you actually accomplish them, what happens is March, April, you're usually worse off than you were in January. And I don't want that for you or for anyone for that matter. So today, I just want to give you these 4 words, and that's let it be small. I want you to understand that actually, yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I want you to understand that small doesn't mean insignificant. Small doesn't mean unimportant. Small doesn't mean less than. Small, in fact, is powerful. Because, like I said earlier, every grand thing you've likely admired in someone else or even in yourself or accomplished, it resulted from small. In fact, you started out as small, right? We all started out as teeny, tiny, tiny little things, right? Small. And over time, we became like, bing, who we are right now. So when I say let it be small, it's an invitation to understand that whatever it is you want in this lifetime, if you allow small, intentional, consistent steps to aid in your arrival, is not only much more likely that you'll get there, but it'll be sustainable. That's the key. Like, that's why I'm talking about this. I'm talking about this because I want you to arrive healthy. I want you to arrive for the process to have been intentional. It doesn't mean it's going to be smooth. Doesn't mean it's going to be problem free. It doesn't mean it's not going to feel clunky at times, but it's going to be sustainable. To talk about the tortoise and the hare for maybe like the 5 millionth time on this podcast. The tortoise won because he took small, consistent steps. And that outdid and outperformed the person who felt like, oh, I'm faster. Watch me just boom, right out the gate, right? When you learn to understand small and the power that it has, you won't tire yourself out. You'll pace yourself. You'll keep moving even when you don't see the results right off the bat. At Best Today, we exist to help women just like you be your best one today at a time. So each week on the podcast, we are going to highlight your stories and your voices. So let's see what's in the inbox today. This week, we have a 5-star review of the How to Preview Your Months, Weeks, and Days manual from Toby, who writes, well worth the investment. I've been previewing my weeks and days using Shantae's method and using this guide for the first time. I'm actually previewing my month, and wow, what a difference. I can already tell that if I would skip this part, I'd be missing the context of my weeks that I need for them to be truly realistic. The examples in the guide are detailed, lifelike, and so relatable. It's easy to use them as a springboard for my own life. The step-by-step guide for planning my months, weeks, and days is so helpful, and the examples and ideas knock it out of the park. It is exactly what I need to make my days realistic, powerful, and totally doable. It gives me ideas and feels expansive and inviting, not rigid or hustle culture inspired. All in all, this guide is well worth the investment. It's pointed, supportive, and detailed, and help me build the flexible structure and flexible structure and momentum. Thank you for all those fancy words. Thank you so much for that 5-star review, Toby. If you have not gotten your manual, it's over 20 pages. It's so thorough and detailed, teaching you how to preview your months, your weeks, your days, giving you examples of every step of the way and mock-ups so you can see what that looks like in real life. You need this guide. Like, seriously, while you're listening to me, go to hit Chrome, open it up, put in besttoday.co/CTONE, CTONE. It'll take you directly there. Or you can go to besttoday.co/99, the show notes to this episode, where we will link to this manual for you to get today. It is immediately sent to you as soon as you purchase. It'll get to you immediately, like it flips to the actual document and it emails to you. So we're talking about within the next 3 minutes, you could have this manual in your hands and get started on how to plan and preview your months, weeks, and days. Again, go to besttoday.co/99 to get the link. Thank you so much, Toby, for that 5-star review. I think about at the end of December of 2022, I talked about this a little bit on Instagram. I talked about how you'll see these 2 stories coming up a lot in posts and videos at the end of the year. And it's like one camp of people are like, it's the end of the year. We're tired. Stop asking people to do things. And then there's another camp that's like, you still got 30 days left to hustle. It's December 1st. Get to it. Right. And I'm just like, I wonder if people from both camps actually knew the beauty of pace. Then you would understand that I don't need to work my face off or rest the whole time, unless that's my choice, but neither is mine because I've built a life that has a beautiful flow. Rest is a part of my life. It's not a part of vacation. It's not a part of weekends. It is a part of my everyday life. Mental, emotional, and physical rest. I need it daily. It is a part of how I plan things, how I look at my schedule. And so I don't get to any time of the year where I feel just completely beat down, because that's why I proactively, intentionally craft my life for the small, to understand that if I can pace myself, I will get everything I want done. I will get all the things that matter to me done. One, because I've defined that narrowly, but I will get there healthy. I will get there without broken bones and high blood pressure, right? So back to what I was talking about. One of my favorite illustrations that I also talk a lot about is from a book called Atomic Habits, where he talks about this melting ice cube. You have an ice cube sitting here and you turn 1 degree after another, like one small step is just coming and turning the knob. And for, let's say, the first 30 degrees, nothing happens, but you go and every day you just turn it 1 degree, 1 degree. But then when you hit 31, let's just say 31, I don't know the real temperature. It's probably higher than 31. But when you hit, the 31 some degrees, the ice cube just starts melting, because there's work in those first 30 clicks, even when you didn't see it. There's work happening even when you don't see that end result. You have to trust in the results that you don't yet see. Because it wasn't just, do you think 31 is the thing that magically made it stop? No, it had to go from 1 to 31 to get there. So it was what happened in the small steps along the way that really got that end result, not, 31. You have to be okay, or let me say, I would like you to be okay with walking before running, with crawling before walking. The things that you don't think are glamorous, because crawling, walking, going slow, that's not glamorous. You feel like, I can't Instagram that. Well, you get off Instagram. You probably just already in itself just improved your life. But what's more glamorous than being a person who honors themselves, loving themselves enough to say, I trust my own pace and my own voice and my own story, as opposed to living a lie to appear some kind of other way to other people who are looking at me. There's no glamour or honor in that at all. So let it be small. And no, let it be small does not mean don't dream big. Don't dream so big that it makes, I'm not saying don't dream big. I want you to dream so big that it makes your stomach flop, that you're just like, ooh, just the thought of like that, right? Let it be small means that the key to reaching those big dreams that make your stomach flop is by putting your head down and getting to the plan one step at a time, one today at a time, and not being daunted by the end goal so much that it freezes you into no movement, into angst, into the O word, overwhelm, and you give up before you even start, because that's what happens when you don't let it be small. I'm not speaking off what I think. I'm speaking off what I know, and I've had the privilege to work with tens of thousands of human beings across this whole globe. And I'm telling you, this is fact. Okay. Let it be small means it lets you know that small steps are encouraged. They're better than no steps. 5 minutes is more than 0 minutes. Writing 1 page is more than writing nothing at all. Starting with a 10-minute morning practice that fuels you is better than saying, I don't have 30 minutes to give or an hour to give for no morning routine, so I don't be doing nothing. Y'all can't see me, but I'm looking in the microphone like, really? Walking every day is better than complaining that you'll never be ready to run in time for the 5K you want to do in the spring. And while we're talking about the words that you say with your mouth, let's talk about that too. Because one of the reasons you don't value small is because the words you're using and the thoughts that you've told yourself that prevent you from living the life you want. I want you to tap back to episode 57. So wherever you're listening to this now, you can just tap back or slide up and find episode 57, 5 questions to ask yourself to promote a healthy internal dialogue. And then I also want you to go to episode 19, 5 truths to remind yourself of every day. I'm going to link to those in the show notes. So they'll be at besttoday.co/99, besttoday.co/99. So you can find those links, episode 57 and 19. I want you to go there so that you can find what you need to encourage you right where you are. Because what you think and what you say to and about yourself is extremely impactful and important, and in itself could be what's stopping you. So that is my invitation to you, to let it be small, to change how you think about the word small and its meaning, and understand that everything big came as a result of small. And now I want to hear from you. I want to know, what are you going to allow to be small? What steps, what choices, what new beginnings, anything I want to hear. So let me know over in the Best Today community. That is our app that we have created off of the interwebs in a place that is safe. You can join. Your first 3 days are free at besttodaycommunity.com. I want to hear from you. Please come over and join us. Let's continue this conversation. And thank you so much for taking the time today to think differently about the power of small. Thank you for being present with me for this week's episode of the Best Today podcast. Until next time, remember that you are capable and worthy of being your best one today at a time, and you have everything you need to have everything you want. So go on and shout it out as you live it out. This is what my best today looks like. I'll talk to you on the next episode. If you enjoyed this week's episode of the Best Today podcast, you are going to love the Best Today Guide. Our Better Than a Planner guide teaches you how to get clear on what you want, identify your self-destructive habits and behaviors, and intentionally create space to prioritize yourself every single day. Don't go the journey to being your best one today at a time without the Best Today Guide. See inside its pages and order yours today at besttodayguide.com. Even better, when you order the Best Today Guide, we gift you with your first month free inside of the Best Today membership. So what are you waiting for? We're giving you everything you need to trade busy for intention. Go to besttodayguide.com and order yours today, and join thousands of women across the globe proclaiming each day, this is what my best today looks like.